So we're going to still be working with those aggregate functions, but with this little set of queries, we're actually going to be grouping the records based on different values. So they're going to look a little different than the previous ones. So we're going to go into Create, and we're going to choose Query Design. And we want the Clients table and the Claims table. From clients, we want client ID. And then from claims, what we want is amount of claim. And we actually want that in there twice. So we're going to turn on totals here. And we want this grouped by the client ID. So for each client ID, what we want to see is the total. So we're going to change this to sum. And then we want to see the average. And we're going to run this. So you can see now it's grouped by our client ID. For each client ID, we're seeing the sum and the average. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and save this as sum, average, claim, amounts query. And we're going to close out of this query, and we're actually going to close out of this database and open yet another one. I'm going to go back to PackTrack. And we're going to go to Create and Query Design. And we want to add the order and suppliers table. And let's see, from orders, we want amount. This is interesting. We're going to do amount twice. And then for suppliers, we want the supplier ID and the name. I'm going to add totals. For the ID and the name, we're going to keep those as grouped by. And normally in grids, the group by stuff is at the front. So this is kind of backwards, but that's why I said it's interesting. So for amount, we're going to change this to sum. And then for our second amount, we're going to change it to average. So it's basically going to show the total and the average, followed by the ID and the name. Okay, by the ID and the name that it's grouping them by. So we're going to go ahead and run this. Okay, so it's basically showing our values first, followed by how it's grouping them. And then we're going to save this as supplier amounts query. And we'll close. Now for the next query, we are going to use PackTrack, so go ahead and keep it open.